evening, folks. It's the Not Your Average Guys show. Welcome.
This episode brought
All
to
right,
you
I just
by
interrupted.
Sonic.
Oh man, are they sponsoring us? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Free drinks for
Or
everyone
you're
that's at my
sponsoring
house.
them?
I'm sponsoring
Oh,
them,
sweet.
yes.
What you
Okay.
got in that cup, Dan?
Just a diet cherry limeade.
Diet, huh?
Diet cherry limeade. Mm.
Made with Sprite Zero. Yeah,
That doesn't sound right.
it's all right. It's something to drink on the way back from a ball game.
Ah, baseball?
Nice.
Yeah.
Win.
What? Their senior high won 6-5 against Pleasant Hill, which is kind of a big deal for them because they're a 1A and Pleasant Hill's 4A school. And then their JV squad got beat 15-1 or 14-1. On the positive side, Judah had he didn't score, but he had the only RBI. His
Nice.
hit scored the point. So
The run.
the run, my bad. Is a run not a point though?
No, not in baseball.
Are you sure?
I mean, have you ever heard him say it was the Royals had 3 points and the Twins had 2 points?
I haven't ever heard him say that, but I haven't watched much baseball, so.
No, it's there's no points talk in baseball. You should ask Chat GPT what they have to say about that.
Okay, I wanna make sure that I'm asking it in a fair and reasonable manner. Is a run in baseball a point? That's as simple as the question gets. Would you agree?
Well, technically, it is a point, but it's not
Hey, you
referred
said
to
it's not.
as a point.
Well, now we're backtracking on it.
No,
Is that the legitimate question or not?
ask it. See what it says.
Would you rather me ask it a different way? Would you rather me say, would any self-respecting baseball fan call a run a point? Is that a better way of asking it?
No, because I know exactly what it'll say on that one.
What will it say? No?
It'll say no.
Okay. Is a run in baseball a point?
In baseball, are runs referred to as points?
It's a run, it's a score, it's a point, is what it says. Yes, a run in baseball essentially is a point. It's a unit of scoring the game. When a player successfully rounds all the bases and touches home plate, their team earns 1 run, which is the same as saying they score 1 point. Okay, I'll follow up. Would any self-respecting baseball fan call it a point? Is that
Sure,
fair?
let's try that. Yeah.
Okay. Give it a second. Oh, it says no. A self-respecting baseball fan would almost never call it a point.
Almost never.
The correct and universally accepted term is a run. Saying point instead of run would immediately mark someone as unfamiliar with the game, kind of like calling a touchdown a goal in football. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the wrong term, although it's the right concept, but it's definitely not the language of the sport.
That sounds a lot like what I said in a different way.
Follow up question. Okay, let's see. Where's my? Oh, here we go. Camera. Okay. Hold still, Jimmy.
How long
This
do I need to
guy.
hold still?
No, I got it. Does
Oh.
this guy look like a self?
I may not look like a baseball player, but
Okay. No.
I've been around the game my entire life.
I can't tell whether this guy's a self-respecting baseball fan just based on his appearance, especially since beard length and hat choice aren't exactly MLB scouting metrics. Oh, snap. That said, wow. That said, he does have the kind of serious, no-nonsense look that might come with strong opinions about calling it a run and not a point. Is this part? Let's just say my chat GPT gets my sense of everything these days.
That's pretty good.
Wow. That kind of serious,
man.
no-nonsense look of someone who might come with strong opinions about calling it a run and not a point.
Yep.
All right.
Well, it's just like people calling espresso espresso. You know, they may like coffee and they may be into certain flavors, but
Mhm.
they don't know what they're talking about.
Here's the one problem with that, and there are places called espresso.
Yeah, those are
Places.
brands. Those are not a
Yeah.
product.
But the problem is it confuses people because it's supposed to be
No.
a quick espresso, right? Like the
It
brand
doesn't
is.
it doesn't no. People are just dumb that think it's espresso.
But if there's brands out there and that's where if that's the only place you ever bought an espresso, you might call it an espresso, right?
I guess if that's the only place you've been and that's how you
If that's
know
the
it,
only
then
place
yeah, that would also mean you don't understand coffee. You don't know anything about coffee. You just like it. Just like you enjoy going to a baseball game
Mhm.
and you think runs are points, and that's fine, but you don't understand the game.
I do understand the game. I did play the game for a number of years, but I just don't care enough to call it the right thing. And that's my point.
And that's a valid point.
And that's your run.
That's my run.
That's a valid run.
But so do you think that the brand espresso is a douchey espresso snob making a brand to mock people who don't know espresso?
No, I think they're just a bunch of losers that wanted to open a coffee shop and thought they came up with some clever play on words.
Coffee, espresso.
Yeah, and there's no way it's worth going to and getting a coffee from.
Do you think that before those were a thing, anybody called an espresso?
Everyone did.
Wait.
It's very common. Everyone called. People that don't know what espresso is, they call it espresso. So many
Isn't
people.
that, you don't think that's because they've seen the shops that are espresso shops? No?
It's because that's what they think it is. How many espresso shops have you seen?
I mean, I've seen them in Wyoming, and I've seen one somewhere around here. I've probably seen 2 or 3. I would guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, people call it espresso because that's what they think it is.
Where did they come up with that, though?
Espresso is harder to say. Espresso sounds.
Wait, espresso is easier to say?
Yeah, espresso.
I don't know about that.
Espresso. Because you
Espresso.
espresso.
Yeah.
Espresso.
That doesn't roll off of the tongue to me personally, but
People just don't know. So I don't know. I don't know why they call it espresso. It's because they're dumb.
I'm gonna find out.
Because they heard it and they didn't understand what it was, and that's what they think it is.
Yeah.
And espresso is high caffeine, and so putting that express like energy type of a name to it makes sense to them.
Sound, yeah. Espresso. I hear people say it often.
Apparently, there's a place called Espresso Company in Buffalo, Missouri.
There's an espresso coffee shop in Branson, Missouri,
Maybe that's where I've seen it in Missouri.
and it's
Branson.
a container ship turned into
Oh yeah,
container, not ship,
been
a
through that
container, one of those Connex containers turned
Yep.
into a coffee shop, an espresso shop.
because it's drive-through.
I believe so. I don't think
Yeah.
it.
Quick espresso.
Yes, and what's funny is the X in espresso, the X in espresso is an X through the S on espresso.
You
For
want to
their
hear
logo.
something? You want to hear something that you did not know?
Sure.
In Portuguese, it is spelled espresso with an X.
In Portuguese?
Yeah.
That's funny. No, I did not know that.
So bilingual people, well, Portuguese, English bilingual people call it espresso for real.
So the Brazilians are who messed it all up here.
Well, it's listed as the fourth reason. First is phonetic assumption because X is a more common phonetic.
Then S.
Mishearing and mispronouncing is 2. Association with speed, made quickly like an express
That makes sense to me.
gas station. And then the language crossover in some languages, Portuguese, for instance, it is spelled espresso, E-X-P-R-E-S-S-O, is actually the correct term for espresso.
All right.
It says, do you want a funny explanation you can use in a conversation too? Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Sure.
Why not?
How did you know?
People call it espresso because it comes out fast, costs too much, and gives you anxiety. Just like an express train, they're not ready for. No, that's not good. They call it espresso because saying espresso correctly would require the same focus and precision that drinking 3 of them takes away.
This is called Caresso.
Which is a knife?
Mm-hmm. Can you do knives on YouTube?
We'll find
I don't
out.
know. Not that kind of knife.
Not a switchblade.
Yeah.
One that sounds like it came from a grumpy barista? Yes. I know you already have something in mind.
Oh man.
Well, next time I hear someone say espresso, I'm gonna be like, "Are you from Portugal?"
From Brazil.
Oh, you want an espresso? Sure, let me just go invent a new language while I'm at it. Maybe I'll make you a cappuccino with extra whipped cream too.
So he's getting funny now.
It's espresso, not It's espresso, not espresso. If you can't say it right, you can't have one.
That's the response I want to give people.
Go sit down and think about what you've done. I kind of like that one. That's actually the best one so far.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Wikipedia is trying to make people feel good and basically says it is another term. It's a accepted term because even though it's not right, everyone knows what you're talking about. I'm trying to.
What do they say about runs scored in baseball?
Wikipedia?
Yeah, they think points are okay.
Probably. If somebody says it, yeah. You don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Wikipedia. Oh. See. Oh, yeah, here we go. The spelling espresso is mostly considered incorrect, although some sources call it a less common variant.
Less common variant.
Well, if in fact it is espresso in Portuguese, that would be why my friends who speak Portuguese call it espresso.
Yeah. If they
Now
do.
I feel bad for yelling at them and telling them they're wrong.
Tell them they need to think about what they've done.
Telling them they need to sit down and think about what they've done. Oops, sorry about that. While your kid was dying, yeah, I feel bad about that now.
Oh yeah, here we go. So this Wikipedia says the Oxford Dictionary online says the spelling espresso is not used in the original Italian and is strictly incorrect, although it is common. The Oxford English Dictionary and Merriam-Webster call it a variant spelling. The Online Etymology Dictionary calls espresso a variant. The Oxford Dictionary of American Usage and Style of 2000, so older one, describes the spelling espresso as wrong and specifies espresso as the only correct form.
If a word is pronounced wrong or spelled wrong, but you can still understand what it is, why is it wrong?
Eventually it won't be.
That's true. Actually, there's a lot of words that mean the exact opposite of what they meant because of original sarcastic usage of them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So the sarcastic use of the word became the actual use of the word?
Like using it in a sardonic kind of a tone. Let me see if I can find some of those.
Yeah, give us some.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about this.
Examples of that.
I mean, language is just kind of made up anyway, right? So,
sort of.
Right? I mean, who Who says that we have to say things a certain way? If we understand what we're saying, then call it good.
Well, that would be the trick, is if we understand it.
Right.
I think that plenty of language is currently intentionally vague and hard to understand,
Mm.
so that a person can't get backed into a corner. Like definitions of things are loose.
It gave me some dumb ones like bad, sick, literally, but this one is actually legit. Like not like even today we know like bad, sick, things like that are being used as slang, right? Awful means what now?
Bad.
Like it's awful, it's bad. But awful meant like awe-inspiring, like it was extremely good.
Hmm. So when did that change?
I'd have to look that up. Wikipedia that. When did awful become? Okay. Silly. The Old English word silly meant happy or blessed or innocent, and now means foolish, frivolous, and non-serious. Nice, Middle English meant ignorant or foolish, now means kind, pleasant, agreeable.
I know one.
Those aren't exactly the opposite.
Gay. It used to mean like happy and cheerful, and now it means you gotta be with a dude.
You gotta do gay stuff now?
You gotta do gay stuff.
Are you gonna bleep that, Darcy? Do gay,
Mm-mm.
do beep stuff. Happy. Oh, gay is actually their 10th one on their list, Jimmy.
Oh, good.
Happy, cheerful, bright, now primarily used to mean homosexual, though
See?
the older meaning still appears in literature in literary contexts.
Okay, so
But I don't mean gay like that. I mean like whenever you're like sitting by the road and a whole bunch of Harleys come through and they're just like revving their engines. What do you call that? I mean, he has a point. Gay. Yeah, it's a point.
It's such
I mean,
a good.
like homosexual gay. I mean, like a bunch of Harleys revving their engines at a stoplight.
It's so good.
That's one of my favorite ever.
Well, we can't argue with this.
Because everybody's like, it's like a congressional hearing, and they're like, well, I mean, he has a good point.
So good. I love that show, but I don't watch it.
I've never watched an entire episode.
Oh man, you need to watch some of it.
I do. Before I go to Casa Bonita this summer, I do need to watch an episode.
You got to do that.
I'm so happy that they did that, and I want to go, but like $40 a plate for bad Mexican food is still like, man, it would have to be an epic experience, and I don't know if it's gonna be.
It would be if you jumped off that waterfall.
So you went since they rebuilt it?
No.
Or no?
What do you mean? When did they rebuild it?
Oh, you don't know about this? So Casa Bonita is a Mexican restaurant. You've been there, Jimmy?
No, I only know of it.
Oh my gosh, you guys, you have been there. Okay.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you go?
It would have been in like 1997 or 98.
Oh, dude, classic. Like it was starting to get kind of worn out at that point.
It was really dim and dark.
And they had the cliff divers, or the gorilla and the Jane and Tarzan kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And it was kind of like a cafeteria Mexican food. You got your tray, you
Mhm.
ordered like one through 9 or something. It was all the same meal, basically. And then you go and you got sopapillas, and then the kids go and they go through the cave, and
Mhm.
like there's a dragon, and then there's an arcade, and it's like the most epic childhood memory, right? If you were like 9 years old and you went there, you will never forget it. You were probably a little too old for it in 97. You
Yeah,
never
I was like
experienced it as a
17 or
child.
18. No.
Yeah, you needed to experience it as like an 8-year-old first. And then when every time you went back, you'd be like looking for the like the 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 hint of that
the
8-year-old
wonder,
experience. Yeah. So the guys
the
who
awfulness.
wrote South Park, write South Park, whatever, they bought it when it went out of business.
No way.
They rebuilt it, and supposedly they just like they're trying to make everything about it be like better but the same as when you were 8. Like completely classic. And the thing is, instead of just having like walk-in deal, you now have to buy tickets to get in.
Really?
Oh, really?
And yeah,
Like the Dixie Stampede.
yeah, it's like the Dixie Stampede thing, sort of.
Dinner and a
Um,
show?
but
Make your
let's see,
summer reservation now. Book
how
now.
much how much do they
I'm looking. Standard dining. Um. Okay. You got regular kids are 3 to 12 years old. Uh, and they are $20 on a weekday and $25 any other time. Big kids, which are 13 to 200 years old, $30 for the weekend. I mean, for the weekday, and 40 bucks for the weekends.
And that
And
just that's your
it's
cover charge? Then you gotta
and
buy
then
food?
I think you get
no,
food.
that's your food.
Yeah, that's your food.
And then there's premium dining, which gets you closer to the waterfall and the cliffs. And it's $45.
Let
When
me
was the
look up.
last time you were there, Dan?
Oh, it's been several years. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Friday at 12:15. Okay, what were your prices? Because I'm part of the club. I
You
got in
are?
early, like the Kickstarter.
What?
Yeah. Wait. So this is for a Friday at 12:15. This particular
So
option.
that's a weekday lunch.
Weekday lunch. Kids 3 to 12, 19.99. Adults 13 and above, 29.99.
Yeah,
Kids.
that's the same.
All reservations between 4 and 8:30. Cancellation policy. So it's the same. So the only thing we
Yeah.
get, the only thing I get is merch for a discount, apparently.
What
Priority
about
access.
what if you
Wait.
went? Oh yeah, there you go. What if you went with the premium dining? Like, what's the price on that?
Premium dining all time, $44.99.
Yep,
Same
same.
price. Same price.
Hmm.
So what? Oh, wait. Founding members log in to get priority access to reservations. I don't want to
Yeah.
log in. Okay. I don't I don't see what I get. Like it seems like maybe I have a longer calendar. I can book like way in advance. But dude, I do kind of want to go back, but I think that I'm actually waiting to go back until I have grandkids that are like 8, and then I'm gonna take them. That's
So you have taken
I
your children there?
my children have been. Well, I don't know if my younger ones would remember it, but my children have definitely been there for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it is the most interesting like eating that you're ever going to do. The weird thing is you're walking into it at a shopping mall level. You walk in just like you're going in the corner of a shopping mall, you know. So the diving and everything is down into the ground. Like the whole thing is like down in this like 3-story hole in the ground. Because it's not like there's no up. It's just a mall entrance.
Is
Like a
it?
strip mall entrance, not even like a mall entrance.
Does it have like a Rainforest Cafe vibe to it in there?
I
Yeah.
think Rainforest Cafe has a Casa Bonita vibe, my friend.
Okay.
I mean, Casa Bonita is like, I can't imagine Rainforest Cafe has been around as long as Casa Bonita.
I'm looking it up on the map. I'm going to save it.
Wait,
Try to get out there someday.
Casa. Nope, that's not.
Why did it close?
Was there like a fire or something?
I forget what the exact details were, but like the neighborhood that it's in kind of just kept going down and down and downhill
First
in Denver.
opened in 1974.
Built
There's
in
a CC's
72.
Pizza and a Dollar Tree in the same strip center.
Yeah, it was like I think that it just kind of kept going downhill.
And a Coin Laundry. And a Ross.
It temporarily closed in 2020 due to the pandemic, and the owner filed for bankruptcy. That's when Trey Parker and Matt Stone bought it.
It looks so weird from the outside.
Now,
I believe
billing
that they have
itself
featured
as
it.
the greatest restaurant in the world.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to find the full episode of South Park based on Casa Bonita, because I think
It's a great one.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Because I think that it's like they basically had the same childhood as I had when it comes to Casa Bonita, which is like super funny because I've never watched the show and they're like
that episode is one of the. I haven't.
Is it really?
I've only watched a handful of them, but it is, and the entirety of that episode is great.
Okay, I'm gonna find it and watch it because, I mean, is it called That Time Cartman got rid of Butters so he could go to Casa Bonita?
Yes, it's. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what happened.
How long are these episodes? I'm looking for one on YouTube that like.
I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Yep. Oh, Butters thinks that the earth has come to an end.
Wait, why Casa Bonita is a perfect South Park episode? 24 minutes.
Whoa,
No.
dude. Okay, so Trey Parker and Matt Stone reached an agreement to purchase the restaurant for $3.1 million. A group named Save Casa Bonita filed an objection to Parker and Stone's purchase, pointing out that they had in fact made an offer first. This group.
Okay.
Their objection was later withdrawn and the sale was completed. And then dudes spent $40 million renovating it.
How much?
40 million.
40 million.
40 million. What?
I do want to go. I mean,
$40 million?
I mean,
it's
they're
okay.
saying it's the best restaurant in the world.
So, like,
I wonder if the
even
food
the
is good.
food is good?
The food might be good.
They got a new chef to update the menu.
Maybe it's good, you know. Maybe it's worth the
Maybe you
money
should
to
just
eat there.
go and then let us know.
Because the thing is, like, you're never going to have experienced the original
Right.
or the, like, toward the end, kind of starting to get, everything was just kind of starting to get run down and everything.
Yeah.
But the money, though, think about this, though. Okay. In the sort of the same sense of like the Rainforest Cafe, like every item in the entire restaurant is like handmade, realistic coconut trees and stuff, right? You can't just be like, oh, they broke this. I've got to call the carpenter and fix it. Everything they ever did to try to fix something looked like hot garbage because it's just Gunu, it's just like, and so like it's becomes more and more and more expensive to upkeep and maintain something like that because of just obvious,
Right.
uniqueness. It's like Jeremy's woodwork in his cabin up in Alaska. It's like somebody breaks it, who's the hand carver that's going to come fix it or remake
Right.
it? It's not.
Yep. Yeah, you got to go, man.
I do need to go
$40 million.
on a restaurant. Yeah. Holy crap. They gave me 5 cherries in this limeade.
They're making up for that diet Sprite they put in there.
Maybe. Could be. I think they don't put diet cherries in it. I think they just put cherries in it.
Probably. Maybe we should just do a road trip out to Denver, and the 3 of us go to
Probably.
Casa
And
Bonita
Judah. And Judah.
Yep.
and Judah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Judah's going. Elliot needs to go.
Why Judah?
Because I still haven't taken him on his 13-year-old trip with Dad.
How old is he?
16.
13 and a half.
Well, okay, so in my defense, I was gonna take him on a fishing trip, and then I was talking to my wife, and she's like, "Well, you can't take him on a fishing trip. You need to take Asa." And I'm like, "Well, maybe we should just invite like somebody else to go too." So we invited Wayne and his kids. So there ended up being like me and Judah and Asa, Wayne, 3 of his kids, somebody else maybe. You didn't go, did you, Darcy?
No.
So we went trout fishing for like a 2-day deal. And Bennett Springs actually is really not that far away for as few times as I've gone down there, camped and fished for trout fishing. Well, somehow that didn't count. Even though it was like coinciding with his 13th birthday. Because it wasn't like just him and Dad. And so I got 0 credit for the trip. As far as Sarah's concerned, as far as Judah's concerned, anybody. But I was like, but I tried to just take him on a trip. It just ended up being more of a trip than just the 2 of us. I don't know. You know what I mean?
What's the purpose of this father-son 13-year-old trip?
Both of the girls got to go on one with Mom. Just to do it. For grins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's your videos going, guys? How'd that video do for you, Darcy?
Which one? The
I've forgotten now. The
me too.
The plumbing, the PVC.
no,
Nothing did much of anything.
it was what was it?
My son started a YouTube channel. He's got like one video that has 3,000 views.
There you go. Oh wait, don't do that.
So I had I posted last Saturday, I think it was. I posted that tiller video. It didn't do much of anything.
Yeah, the one where you were working on the tiller.
Uh-huh.
It was a long form.
200, yeah. It's like 10 minutes long or something. It's got 263 views.
I posted a fishing video, and then I watched it after I posted it, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you need to be way more excited about this. Like, I just don't seem to have the the oomph whenever I'm videoing myself doing stuff. Sometimes, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, just like
Oh, yeah.
I need to be more expressive. I mean, I caught 22 fish on the video. You thought I'd been more excited. I have one dropping tomorrow. I made a fillet knife.
You made a fillet knife?
Well, kind of. So
Okay.
I was looking. I'm needing. Apparently, I need to remove about 500 pounds of fish out of my lake this year to reduce those little bass that are like a foot or less, 12 inches or less.
Mm-hmm.
I need to remove 500 pounds, which is probably somewhere between 500 and 700 of those fish.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really like just throwing them on the bank. I mean, it's fish. Like they're little, but they're fish. So I was looking up like thin as I could get of a fillet knife, and like a
Mm-hmm.
really thin, super flexible fillet knife is like $60.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, why don't I just grind a fillet knife down thin and see if it will work? So I just bought a $10 Guides-Man fillet knife from, what is that?
Walmart.
Menards. From Menards. Oh, do they
Okay.
have the same thing?
Oh, maybe not.
And
Guidesman? Yeah,
I ground like roughly a third of the tang out of the blade, not the tang, but like I took it from like this
the
wide down to
spine.
like this wide of the spine on the work sharp, and it's darn flexible. I don't know if it's going to hold an edge because it's kind of just a cheapo knife,
Mm-hmm.
but just being able to like have a flexible knife that you can get in behind their gill plate and flip, and then will stay on their ribs even though they're a really small fish, I think will be helpful for just like lickety split processing these little bitty bass, because
You
there's more.
also should get one of those handy little like fish cleaning stations that you hook your hose up to and
I should. I
has
have
a
I have seen them at um oh, a couple places. I have one, but it doesn't have the water hose part. It has a cutting
you
board and a
used to
little.
have a whole bunch of stainless steel sinks and countertops you could have
I still do have that
turned.
one
You
of them.
do?
Hmm. But
I thought you
it's
hauled all
just
that stuff off.
it's the flimsy one. It's the one that was like a film washing station or something.
Oh, yeah.
It was a pretty disappointing one, to be honest with you. It was not. It was not my dad's best auction work. I don't think. But yeah, I mean, if I'm going to be processing 500 fish, I got to have a little easier time of it, because there's probably only, what do you think there is on a bass that's a pound? You think there's a third of a pound of meat on it?
Oof,
Maybe not even a
No.
third of
not
a
much.
pound. Not much meat on a pound bass.
No.
But I just
Couple
can't.
nuggets.
I just don't want to throw all those fish on the bank. Like, it seems wrong, even though it's not really technically wasteful. It just
The
seems
Eagles will
wrong.
like it.
Yeah, the Eagles will. The Foxes will love it. Dude, I hit a beaver tonight with my
Dragon?
truck.
Truck?
Yeah. it I didn't run over it. It just hit the side of it. And I stopped
Same
and I
place
turned
as
around.
those other ones?
No. This is down like between our house and the school. There's this place where there's like 3 creeks that come together, and they just redid all these bridges. And so it was like sitting there by the guardrail of the bridge, and I thunked it from the side, and I went and looked, and he wasn't anywhere near. Like, I don't think it even phased him. He just ran off.
Hmm.
But it was 100% a beaver, just
Yeah.
chilling there on the side of the road.
Nice.
But I'd have brought him. I'd have grabbed him if, I don't know. Does a beaver's pelt? It's probably not great this time of year. Do they shed?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, they probably do.
Probably not the best time of year for beavers. But anyway,
Yep. I trapped a chicken.
trapped,
Mm-hmm.
snared it.
No, with like a regular old like.
On accident.
Well, I was not intending to trap it. So yes,
Yeah.
I guess that would be an accident.
I'm sorry. Did it die?
No, doesn't seem to be too much worse for the wear. It's got a big old tear in its chicken skin leg, but it's not. They don't limp.
Yeah,
Or
I
it
don't know that
doesn't limp. I
they
guess
don't have a whole
chickens
lot of
do
feeling
limp.
in their legs.
I don't guess so. Oh, Garcia, he was a limpy chicken.
Who's Garcia?
Hmm.
That white chicken. That white chicken that that I kept out of the fryers. It was that
Yeah.
limpy white rooster. You don't remember him?
Uh-uh.
So I bought
Well,
all
that's.
those like what? I bought what like 60
Mm-hmm.
60 roosters a couple years ago to butcher,
Yeah.
and one of Jimmy's friends came over here and started naming my chickens and latching onto them.
Mm-hmm.
True story.
So his kids named this one chicken that was extra friendly, this one rooster fryer, Garcia. And so whenever it came butchering time, I
You let him live.
I spared him. And I fed him to the fox eventually.
Like, purposely.
No,
You just let him. You just let him be out.
I just let him live, which meant eventually dying a scary and gruesome death.
Which is somewhat intentionally.
Yeah, it's not like I didn't know that the fox was killing
Right.
my chickens.
Yeah. How many foxes have you caught now so far?
2.
2.
Yep.
Any more sign of them?
There was once, and so I reset the trap, but has not been any more sign since that. Oh man.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's moved on, at least for this season, or what. We'll see. I keep walking back there and looking every day.
See if they're digging on it still and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Mm. Oh man.
Yep.
Dan,
Yeah.
you got any fifth wheels on your property this week?
Fifth wheels?
Yeah.
No.
Campers? No.
No.
You didn't give in?
Supposedly I have a check coming from that floor that I put in that fifth wheel.
Oh, nice.
In the mail. And no, I opted to not allow the fifth wheel camper to long-term stay on my property because it just seemed like a terrible idea. And I'm really glad that I had the experience with that fifth wheel setup that I went and did the floor
Mere
for.
days before getting a request.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not likely that I would have said yes, but I would have thought about it more if I hadn't seen how. Jimmy, do you know about this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So some friends of ours, they have someone staying at their property, and she bought a fifth wheel because she's trying to keep her expenses low and um, save up money for a property, and she's gonna buy some land and build a house or something like that. I don't know. Well, they needed some flooring put in the fifth wheel because the person they bought it from was like, oh yeah, it's move-in ready, and then they bought it. I don't know if they bought it sight unseen. I really don't know what the story is behind it, but they got it, and as soon as they got it, they were like, this thing doesn't really smell right. Maybe they had like fumigated it with something that smelled okay, and the longer they had it, the more it smelled like cat pee. So they tore up all the flooring, and then they were like, well, I think we want to put some like LVT click lock type flooring in it. And they had a guy estimate it, and to do LVT flooring in a fifth wheel, which is about 450 feet, this person wanted like $4,000 for the labor and then whatever the material cost.
Dang, me too.
Well, you say that, but and I thought that seems excessively high, but then you get in a fifth wheel and you start to realize like
It's just all cuts.
there's not even 5 full boards in the thing. I literally don't think there are 5 complete boards in the whole floor. And then the edges, you just get to the edge and you're like, well, what do I do with this? Because there's no trim or anything on them. They're just this tiny little piece of trim. And what they do when they build them is they put the box together, they put the floor in, or actually they might build the deck, put the floor in, put the walls on it, put all the interior walls, put all the cabinets in. So every piece of flooring is under every item that is permanently affixed to the thing. So like you're sitting there trying to cut in around a toilet that has never had to be cut in around originally. So what I suggested was I can get this product that is a loose lay or pressure sensitive glue down. Looks just like plank flooring, but it's like planks of, well, shoot, I'll show you the stuff. This isn't exactly the
You just
stuff.
happen to have a whole stack of it right there.
Well, I bought some more of it from him because this one was a batch of it that was really cheap, 50 cents a foot. So, but the edge is just square, but it's really thick profile stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is it like a commercial grade?
It's like a commercial grade material, right? So like the thing is they don't interlock.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put this plank right in the middle of the floor and you can work in all 4 directions away from it. Which for something that has a whole bunch of cuts is like ideal because you don't have to like plan your schedule of how you're doing it out. You just smear the glue down, let it cure to where it's pressure sensitive. Well, I actually cut all the planks to size and then I would remove them, glue it, and then lay them down. So anyway, it was a lot more work for 400 foot of flooring than you would think. It was probably, man, it was probably only like 350 actual feet of flooring, but with all the cuts and everything, and the fact that there was so many cuts, it was probably like doing a small house worth of cuts in this little trailer. So I did the whole thing for like half of what they had it the other person estimated for.
With materials.
With materials. Yeah. But at the end of it, I was like, if I was doing click lock, I would have just said no. Like I would not. I mean,
just be impossible to get it in there.
There's just no way.
Yeah.
A single direction click lock floating floor is not going in that thing. Okay, so they bought the 5th wheel. They aren't watching this podcast, so I'm not gonna feel bad about saying what I'm getting ready to say. They have
zero plan.
Kind of no plan. Like they installed a plug-in for electric for the 5th wheel. They have a hose, a garden hose that has an electric wire heater on it. So you plug the cord in and the garden hose has heat so it won't freeze in the winter. But they have it hooked up to a vertical spout, like outside handle deal that, to the best of my understanding, the only time those are frost free is when they're closed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they realize they're going to break the house's water lines when they try to run this thing.
If that is pressurized when it gets 0 degrees, it's going to cause problems.
It's going to break. So
then
there's
you gotta
one,
dig it up.
and it's right by their house. It might be going into a slab of concrete. So it's not good. Not good. So water just like it's functioning, but at the very minimum level, it's functioning like my off-grid cabin is functioning. But in the winter, I close it down and you don't get any water, And it's still, even though I winterize it, still cracked some stuff this winter. Okay. So then there's it's a tank that's probably this tall, white tank. It's a cube. It's like 10 feet by 12 feet and this tall, laying out in the yard. And I'm like, what's the tank? And she's like, oh, that's our septic tank.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, do you have like a lateral field? Like, how are you? Oh, no, they're just going to come empty it once in a while. I mean, if you run your gray water and your black water into this tank, do you know how often you're going to have it emptied? Like
once a week.
Like once a week. Like for our house, we have the thing come once every 5 years. Because we have a lateral field for the water to pass through the tank, solids drop out, water goes out to the lateral field. That's not gonna work. But they already bought it, and I bet it was $1,000 tank.
Wow.
And then the only place that they have to park the fifth wheel is, so like here's the house, like so let's say the house is here and the driveway goes right here. I don't know if this makes sense. The driveway goes right here to the house. Well, they set the trailer here. So you drive into the driveway, trailer's sitting off to the right, and the slope of the hill goes down this way. So if they were just going to run their gray water out of the fifth wheel, it's going to be dry. It's going to be running across the driveway like shampoo water and all that kind of stuff all the time, or they're going to have to trench in a line to go under the driveway, because that's the only way that the water is going to run if you're just dumping gray water out on the ground, which maybe that's the plan so that they don't have to. But then the question is like, how bad is a septic tank that is clear gonna look, smell?
Probably real good.
I mean, in the hot Missouri summer, your septic tank is above ground.
They can't tap into the house septic system?
Not from where this trailer's parked. No.
Hmm.
No. I just like, it's like everything that they're doing is like, I don't know much, but I don't think that's gonna actually work for you.
Right.
Right? Well, it isn't my business really.
Sure.
I mean, they asked me to do flooring. I saved them a bunch of money on flooring. That part's better. So then literally, like, I get done with it and I get a message on Hip Camp, which is one of the places that I have my cabin. Person wanting to park a trailer on my property long term for maybe a year.
What?
And I'm like, I don't have any sewer hookup. I don't have any electric hookup. But we're going to get a generator and we'll just get somebody to pump our tank. And I'm just like, nah, that's not going to work. And like, they kept asking me about it. And after a while, I just stopped answering because no, like
So they wanted to
people
park there and live there.
yeah.
Dang.
They want to park there and live there on my property. And here's the funny thing. They're like, we think that it's worth about $350 a month. And like, I've had times when $350 a month would have maybe sounded like a good deal.
Right.
But like, there's not very many things where I want to mess with a person every day for a month for $350. You know, like
Mhm.
not just mess with them, but just like have the like kind of stress of knowing that there's probably some I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, it's just like, maybe I never have to talk to them, but maybe I just always know that they're up there taking a dump in a hole in the ground on my property. And is that worth $350? No. It's just
I mean,
not.
if there was like an area of your land that was like you couldn't see it, you never drove by it.
And they could squat on it? No.
That's what I said, though. I think that as soon as you get somebody in there like that, you got to risk. You're
Sure.
gonna risk like dealing with eviction later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing about the whole Hip Camp deal that really just kind of like, you either just have to want people to be around you or something, because
You
like,
say
you know what
hip camp?
Hip Camp is like a Airbnb site for campsites on
Never heard
private
of it.
property. It's like hip and it's camping. Get it? Hip Camp.
I've
And
heard of split pad.
it's probably the same thing. So,
No,
is it for RVs?
no, you rent out bedrooms in your house to like individual bedrooms to different people.
Oh, I'm not about that life either.
So if you had an extra bedroom, you could just rent it out.
I'd rather rent an extra bedroom in my house for $350 a month than rent a place for somebody to put an RV on my property for $350 a month. Am I dumb for that? Like I
I mean, they'd probably be making meth or something in there.
who knows what they'd be doing? I mean, and the thing is, like, I can imagine being a person who's just like, oh yeah, I'll just live in a trailer. But like, I don't actually think that people realize you don't get a trailer, a camper, because it's cheaper. There's some other reason you want to live in a trailer. Like, you want to be mobile. You want to not have to load your stuff into a hotel room all the time. You
I'm
want to be
looking
able
this
to
camp up.
stay in the mountains or something. But like, unless you're just like a dirty gypsy or something, you don't live in a trailer to save money. I don't think.
I don't live in a trailer, so I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
don't
lived
know.
across the street from some trailers for quite a while.
Well, that was a cheap place to live in a trailer, wasn't it?
I guess. I don't know. Some people say it is not.
Not a cheap place to live.
Yeah. If you read the reviews, some people, they don't like old Jim over there.
Jim.
Hmm.
Jim's price gouging.
He's just mean. You
Oh.
pay all this money and then he's not very nice to you if you want
Dude,
extra stuff.
you're not paying for me to be nice to you. You're paying for a place to park your trailer.
People don't like you to not be nice to them.
That's the problem with being alive in 2025.
Everybody cares whether you
Everybody
look
wants
at
to
them
be
right or not.
nice to
Yeah.
you. My God. Dude.
The first review on that website or in that trailer park was something like, I moved in there and it was getting to be springtime and they were spraying all the weeds, and I said, please do not spray my yard because my child has a sensitivity to weed killers, and they sprayed my yard anyway. And he said, if you don't want me to take care of the yard, then you can move somewhere else, and I got 8 or 10 other people waiting for your spot.
This is all in the review.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wait, somebody commented on my video. Oh, it's my cousin Ben.
Doesn't count.
Oh, what? No, it isn't. It's me. I commented on your video.
The one about fishing?
No. What did Ben say?
He'll come fish out the fish.
Nice.
Which one did you comment on?
I commented on the micro lighter.
Oh, wait, I guess James was right. What was James right about?
James said it takes but a spark. The tongue is similar to a spark that can start a whole fire ablaze.
I thought you were talking about James that's right here. When you
James. Or James that
from
just
the
got
Bible.
dunked on.
Or James that just got dunked on. This lighter is actually pretty great. It actually doesn't leak out fluid as fast as the Zippos.
Zippos.
because it has
Just
a
gotta.
gasket.
Oh man. Oh, daggum.
What happened?
I just. So I listed some goats today
Yeah.
on Facebook Marketplace, and I just got my first message from
Hit.
that. Yeah, and he says, "Do you deliver?"
Nah. You go
Just
dead or alive.
uh, for a fee. I'd
Yeah.
deliver them for a fee.
The handy thing about a goat is you can grab a hold of them and throw them in the bed of a truck.
Tie them
You don't
down.
have to
Good.
have it. Don't
Yeah.
have to have a trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you selling meat goats? How are you? What are you selling them as? Like, what do you just?
I don't care what they do with them.
But I mean, what's the
According to
advertising?
my kids, goats for sale. The boys are less expensive than the girls' are.
Okay. How much are you getting for goats?
$0. I am I'm mostly spending money on goats. I've
No, you're.
never made money on goats.
Well, what are you selling them for? What are you trying
I've
to
listed them for $150 for the males
do?
and $200 for the females.
Okay.
I think that's pretty
Kind
average.
of. Are the people typically? Do you know? Do the people? Are they buying them to eat them? That are buying
I
adult
don't know.
goats? Don't know.
I don't know.
They ever?
Um,
Do you know if with Jeremy, people have ever showed up and killed them on site, and then put them in their vehicle?
I don't know.
no, they haven't.
I know uh, Matt Moore. He would sell goats, and he would just get these old goats at auctions that weren't going for very much. Like if he was at an auction, old Billy goat, and he'd be like, yeah, $50. Okay, I'll buy it. And then he'd bring it back to Kansas City and he'd sell it to somebody. And Muslim people would buy them from him, but they would show up in like a Mercedes to pick up their goat. And they would
They'd
like
want to. They'd want to kill it
ceremonially,
right there.
yeah, they would ceremonially crucify it right there on site.
What?
Yeah.
Hang
They have to,
it up and throw in the trunk of the Mercedes.
they like point it to the east or something like that. And they say a prayer and they cut its throat, bleed it out, and then throw it in trash bags in the back of their Mercedes.
Dang.
If my kids weren't around to witness it, I would
Yeah.
have zero issue with that. In
I
fact,
mean, I think
I've
he was
got
okay, kind of okay with it because they were selling butcher animals. I mean,
I've
that was kind of
got
their deal.
I've got a concrete slab out there with iron railing affixed to it that would make like a perfect little kill spot.
Little slaughterhouse.
You could have like, you could have one, and to the east, you could have like a Arab looking like idol of some kind or whatever, and then to the west, you could have like a what's the upside down star for the Satanists, and then you could have like you could have like an all religion butchering block right there in one
Yeah, I could
place.
have like a lazy Susan.
Yeah,
Like you
like you do whatever you need to do right here.
Yeah.
Just take the spirits and the demons with you when you go, please. Yeah. But yeah, he said if you were butchering and you didn't want to allow that, you'd need to actually say in your ad you can't do it, you can't kill on site or
Dang.
whatever. Because you can't kill the animal, for at least for Muslim people, you can't kill it. They have to. It's almost like kosher. It's sort of like being kosher or something like that.
hmm
Yeah. Dude, it's 11:53.
Yep.
Yep. I think it's time.
Probably time.
All right. Any final?
I don't know. This not your average guy's feeling pretty average right now. That's my final word.
Okay.
Oh. Have a good night, guys.
Halal. That's what it
Halal.
would have been.
Yeah,
Halal.
yeah.
That's the Islamic version of kosher. All right. Yeah, I'll let you know if anybody comes and offs the goats in my backyard. Be like, girls, go check the mail.
What's all this blood from? Don't worry about it.
No, not that mail.
Uncle Rico got a sweet $150, $150 today.
Yep. All
All
right.
right.
Maybe I will have fewer goats next Tuesday than I have today.
Fewer goats and more money.
Fewer goats and more dollars. All right. Later.
See ya.
Not your average guys.
See you next time.
Signing off.